back to Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris on Florida Man Radio.
So two things. One, where are all the PETA people and the animal lover people?
Well, PETA is not one of those people. They don't love animals. PETA hates animals. Regardless of what they tell you, they want all animals dead. Okay,
Really?
continue. Yes.
All right, I didn't know that. In order to get colostrum from a cow, and I know people that milk cows, and they're a dairy cow production operation, and they're making milk, and they're making cheese, and they're making all this stuff, and they sell the raw milk and the whatnot, right? I know people who do that.
So are they hand milking for raw milk? Or do you still have like all the machines and the cows
Well,
walk up
no.
when they need to be milked?
Yeah, they have it's a smaller machine. It's not like a parlor like you see in the
Okay.
videos where everything's there and the cow walks up onto a platform and then they're like, it's like,
Right.
So this is more of like you wash and sanitize, get it all clean. The cow walks into a stanchion and you put some feed out in front of it so it'll sit still. You wipe its teats down and then you put the machine on it, hit the button, and then
So it is on a much smaller scale than these
yeah,
big industrial milk.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
places.
there's small farms that do multiple cows at a time.
Right.
The one cow that we bought, and I gave it back literally because I was like, dude, I ain't got
I can't
time.
do
And-
this.
I just didn't have time.
Right.
Like I got so much else going on, and the hard part wasn't milking the cow. It was all the prep, all the cleanup, and then the jarring and the labeling and the storing. And it's like I don't have 2 hours a day to do this.
Well, and it's multiple times a day. You
It's
have
just
to nurse.
twice. It's twice a
Or
day.
Twice a day.
Some people
call it nurse.
train their cow system to milk it once a day, but that's not good or
That's
healthy
not-
for the cow, and you lose production. So
And that cow's not going to give as much milk
Right.
in the long run.
right, yes, yeah, right. So loss of production.
Okay.
But milking the cow in the morning, and you have to set it at a 12-hour time. So if you don't want to be out on the farm at 9 o'clock at night, then you can't milk at 9 o'clock in the morning. So you have to back the clock up. If you're like, all right, well, I want to be done milking cows by 3:30. So by the time I get it all put away, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I can still go do other things before the sun goes down and be home for supper. Well, that means you have to milk at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
That's a
so
lot.
3:30 and 3:30, or 4 and 4, or 2 and 2, or
Right.
you pick the 12-hour window, but you got to milk every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, even on the leap years. All right. So I gave the cow back. I didn't want my money back. I was like, I just can't do this. I was like,
You didn't even eat the cow. You're like, I
no, it was
wow.
a dairy cow, and we were milking it, and I was getting like 8 gallons a day. You know, we were putting it in quart jars and gallon jars. We just, any way we could sell it. It had nothing to do with the USDA and the paperwork and the regulation and the inspections. I could deal with all that. I could fight those guys. It was the fact it's like after like 2 weeks, it's like I can't do this no more.
Right.
And then you're like, why don't you hire somebody? Well, by the time you hire somebody and they break the jar, they break the pump, and you got to replace a $3,000 piece of equipment, and you're only getting like $8 a gallon for milk. I know that sounds high, but that's what raw milk was like 4 years ago.
Oh, it's higher now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is anymore.
don't.
So it's like, 8 times 8 is 64. It just ain't worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so you can't hire somebody and pay them everything just to get the milk. So anyways, it didn't work. Kudos to the people who milk cows.
Yeah.
All right. But I know people who calf share. And that way they can still have milk to sell to the public. Because if a cow's not getting pregnant and going through that cycle, she dries up just like a woman or another mammal. If there's no baby, they eventually dry up. Their body tells them to dry up. They just don't make milk forever, right? The milk eventually stops.
Right.
All right. So you have to breed your cows, so which means they have to drop a calf in order to keep them putting in milk all the time. All right. So a lot of people, especially the people who do it like the right way, I hate using the word humanely because the definitions are so weird, but the people who do it the right way, they do what they call calf share. But even in a calf share program,
What is that?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's basically sharing. But it's like, hey, can I have some of your coffee? So now it's Heather share.
It's absolutely not.
I would never put my lips where your lips have been. I live by prison rules. Listen, I don't drink after my wife. I don't eat after.
Yeah.
Don't eat off my plate. I won't eat off your plate. Now we can share and we can cut stuff up and pass it around. But like if you put your hands on my plate, we're fighting and I'm throwing the plate away.
Okay, but how does that relate to calf share?
Well, we were talking about me sharing your drink. All right. So
Back on track, Jonathan. Whoosh.
even the people that calf share normally give that calf the first 3 days with its mom, And that calf gets all the colostrum, all the milk, everything for the first 3 days. After that, then they let the calf nurse for, let's say, 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the morning. And then they bring the mom in, wipe her off, and then instead of getting 8 gallons off of her, they only take 4, and they stop.
Oh,
It's called being a good steward.
okay.
And then the cow goes out.
But they really should be giving the baby the hind milk if they want that baby to grow. They should be milking first, and that baby will be more efficient. That baby will suck out all the fats and all the hind milk, get bigger, and then mom will be triggered to produce more.
Yeah, so maybe you should let farmers be farmers, and you stick to producing videos.
Well, I mean, that was me
So-
producing milk. I know it from doing it
Yeah,
myself.
but your babies also kept milking throughout the day.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so if you'll listen to the whole story, and let me get to the period, relax,
Okay.
relax. So they let the calf get the mom started
Okay.
and get all the stuff that's been collecting in the teat,
Right.
which that's what the calf needs. And then when kind of like the faucet has come on and the junky stuff, it's not junk, it's the good stuff, has flown out, now you're just at clean milk. The calf goes out, you milk that, you stop at like halfway, and then you let the calf finish the mom off.
Oh, I was right. I could be a cow.
But you jumped the gun and interrupted me, and next time I'm going to have to lash you. What would you rather have, fingernails removed or a spanking? Like a,
Stop
Like
that.
not like a cool spanking, like I'm going to hit you with a stick. I
You
got to get a
couldn't catch
stick.
me.
I'm going to get a long, I'm gonna
But
get a
no,
stick.
that's really cool that that I was doing exactly like the cows.
Yes, and then you let the calf has mom all day, off and on, and they don't milk, like they don't stay attached to the teat. They come and they go, they come and they
Right.
go, you know. And then when you do it in the afternoon, the same thing. You make sure the calf milks a little bit, and then you milk the mom halfway, and then you turn her back loose, and the calf goes back, and it's just a process. It's called calf sharing.
Okay.
But even in calf sharing, you allow the calf to get all the colostrum the first 3 days. That's just what good farmers do. So somewhere, somebody, some farm is robbing calves of colostrum in order to sell colostrum supplements to people.
I wonder how those cows take. Do you eat baby milk cows?
So there, and you know what? You're actually absolutely
Because
right.
they're not going to have as much.
I didn't think about this. I didn't think about this yet, but you're right. Oh my gosh, veal.
Deal. Baby
All right.
cows.
Baby cows, when they're born, they are taken from their mom. They're put into a 3x3 box.
So that they don't move.
They're on concrete. They never take a step. They never touch dirt. They never touch grass. And they are bottle milk fed for, I think, 90 days. Don't quote me on that. It may be 60 days. Somewhere between 60 and 90 days. They are basically forced bottle fed so they get fat as all get out. And that's what makes the meat so pink and soft and bright, because they have no life in them.
That is so sad.
And they may not even get the colostrum. Maybe that's why the meat is like that. I have to do a little research
Now
on
is
that.
the meat?
It's like eating butter. I used to.
But I mean,
eat,
is it marbled or is
No,
it's just lean?
It's just pink. It's like the prettiest. I don't want to overindulge on it because we got out of that. So back 30 years ago, we didn't know. So if somebody had veal, or somebody's like, "Hey, we got a veal calf. You want it? We're gonna knock it in the head." Heck yeah! You don't even have to chew it. It just dissolves in your mouth. It's better than the best fillet you ever had. It's just so soft and so tender. And there were people that, you guys also understand, we didn't raise veal calves on our farm. So I didn't really, and I was younger back then, I didn't really fully understand the process. But if somebody's like, "Hey, we just did a calf, it's a veal calf, you want half of it?" Sure, heck yeah, man, I want half of it. And then as I grew and I started talking to my grandpa and my dad, and it's like, "Hey, how does this process work?" And they're like, "Oh man, it's terrible." It's like, all right, I don't need to eat veal that much that I'm willing to support this industry. And we actually have people that call the shop and ask, "Hey, can you do me a veal cow?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." They're like, "Why not?" I was like, "Because it goes against everything I stand for."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, but I'll pay whatever." I was like, "It's not about the money. It's about my character. And it's about when I go to bed at night, I got to answer to my family, my God, my community. And I'm not going to take a calf off its mom, put it in a wood box."
How old are they when they kill them?
less than 3 months.
Okay.
Veal is either under 90 days or under 60. I'd have to look it up again. But a veal calf never touches dirt, never touches grass, and it never milks directly from its mom's teat. It's removed the minute it's born, and it's bottle fed its entire life. But it doesn't live long. So maybe that's where, maybe they're still in that colostrum. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think the cow is getting the colostrum because I've had moms, and I'll never do this again. Please don't ever call me if your cow rejects its calf. I'm not the guy that's going to bury your calf for you. But when I first started, people would call me and be like, hey, Jonathan, I know you're trying to find cows and calves. We had a calf born and the mom rejected it. I'm on the way. I'll come get it. And every single one has died within 3 weeks. Not one has lived.
So the mom knew
No.
something was wrong. That's why she rejected
no,
it.
the mom, cows just reject calves. It happens.
Oh.
And on big farms, you'd be surprised how many cows end up, ground up, burned up, because moms just do it. It happens. Okay. But if the mom lets the calf get the colostrum and then rejects it, that cow has a 90% chance of living.
Wow.
But if that calf is born, even if you go down to Tractor Supply or call Jeffers, the magazine, or vet2u.com or whatever you use, and you get bovine colostrum, and you mix it up and you force feed that calf, right? That calf getting synthetic colostrum instead of its mom's colostrum still has like a 50% chance of dying, sometimes even an 80% chance of dying, because it never gets the immune system and the antibodies it needs to live the first 3, 4, 5 days. And because, it's hard to be born. People are like, oh, you were just born. But like the baby fights. The baby quits breathing for a while and it has to go through the tube, and the calf gets dropped out on the ground behind its mom. Like, birth is not easy for the baby, right? Especially in the animal world. So the calf doesn't get what it needs to survive. Same thing with pigs. I've had pigs that the mom's got 16 teats and she has 22 babies.
Oh.
And then you watch for the first 2-3 hours and you realize 3 of them ain't getting no milk.
Ever.
All the colostrum's going to be gone. Now, there's nothing wrong with if there was a rotation, right? And everybody was getting a little bit at different times, but you watch after the first 3-4 hours and be like, man, these 3 ain't even getting. And if you try to get them on the teat, they've gotten so weak so fast from the other pigs pushing them off, they don't even have the energy to suck.
Right.
They just lay there with their mouths open. Even if you try to squeeze the mom's teeth and get them some colostrum, they'll end up dying in a couple days.
I will hand feed any of those babies if you end up with them.
I understand that, but you're missing the point. Calves somewhere are being robbed of the colostrum they need to survive,
right,
in order to feed the greed of humanity.
But does it work? I mean...
We'll get to that after the break.